Hello folks, my name's Charlie and I run a social enterprise called Inclusive Images. Our mission is to give community groups and people in the periphery of society a voice via a medium of photography through discussion. By Inclusive Images, we're working in partnership with Clydesider magazine on their Picture of Health WD project. And it's basically looking at elements of health and well-being, what affects it. We'll be discussing that over the next few weeks, different elements of it, and interpreting it through photography. Today is just a wee quick introduction on the power of photography, how a photograph can influence and sometimes change the world, really, attitudes which then go on to change the world. So I'll just click with these slides here. We see here photographs, the power of photography, photographs, they can do many things, as we know. They can capture a memory, family, friends, holidays, past events and all that. We've all got holiday snaps and photos of parties and on the beach and that with your kids and that, But what we're kind of looking at more closely is the help to convey a message, an idea about a person, place or a thing. We're looking at that. We're looking to discuss photography that can convey a message, create an emotion for the viewer. Again, that is also an element of what we'll be looking at as well, because along with the message, you want to create a reaction, and inspire people, and also tell the viewer a story. Again, that's a combination of these anyway. A famous photographer, a very, very famous photographer, Ansel Adams, said there is always two people in every picture, the photographer and the viewer. And basically what he's saying there is, obviously the photographers took the photograph, but the viewer interprets it, and hopefully they interpret it with the close enough to what the photographer was, the message they were trying to give. Let me just flick on here. If we look at this photograph here, because we are focusing on photojournalism, because that's what we're doing, photography by a message, and hopefully some of your photographs will be in the exhibition and also in a photo article in the Clydesider magazine. I'm sure that most of you remember this a couple of years ago, the tragic events in Christchurch in New Zealand, when a white terrorist stormed into a mosque during worship and shot a few of the worshippers, a few Muslims. Well, this is Jacinda Ardern, who is the New Zealand Prime Minister, and immediately, this is the week following, outside the tragic events in the mosque, this is the week following outside the mosque, and she went there and she hugged in solidarity with our fellow citizens who happen to be Muslims, and that image went around the world, and it sent a powerful, positive image that people are. It doesn't matter whether you're Muslim or whatever, creed, colour or whatever. We're all the same, and we all feel each other's pain. Very, very powerful image. Again, for those of you like myself that might be a wee bit longer in the tooth, remember the events of Tiananmen Square when the protests in the early 90s, 1990s, against the repression of the Chinese government, and there was a standoff for a long time, and eventually the Chinese government sent in the tanks and the troops, and the photographer here, it's a very, very famous photograph. If you lived around that time, you wouldn't help noticing it, it was everywhere. The photographer here has captured that powerful moment when one man has stood against the power of the state. It's a very, very powerful photograph, and it's an inspirational photograph. Ultimately, the protesters were oppressed and persecuted, but This photograph here continues to inspire people in their struggle again in life against oppression and repression. It's a very, very powerful photograph. The photographer, again, I say this in a lot of the videos, you need a wee element of luck in photography as well, but your element of luck is, your presence of mind to know the significance of the shot you're taking as well. And so the combination of both created this iconic image, which will this image will definitely outlive the governments that repressed them in the first place. Very, very powerful. We'll just flick through here again. And again, we have an image here. Nick Hutt, very, very famous war photojournalist. Vietnam. This is the photograph that went out around the world and opened the world's eyes to what was actually happening in Vietnam. Previous to that, people thought America was across there doing some great stuff, and it's not getting into politics or why they were there or why they weren't there, but it opened the world's eyes to what was actually happening. And this is a wee girl, her clothes had been burnt off by napalm. The napalm bombs behind here, and the kids are running from it, screaming. And this one photograph, there was an anti-war movement beforehand, but this one photograph added massive impetus to the anti-war movement, and ultimately to the American withdrawal from the Vietnam. As I say, folks, well, it'd be great if we took, if some of these took photographs that changed the world, but what we're looking for over the next few weeks, and we'll be through discussion and interpreting it through photography, is photographs that would influence your neighbours, your communities, the decision makers within Western Bartonshire. And as I said, some of them will go towards an exhibition which the public will see, which will influence them there, and also be in, some of them will be in the Clydesider magazine. So next week we'll be doing a wee video. We'll be starting videos on basic photography, and we'll just be going through each week composition techniques which help you construct or compose a better photograph. So until next week, folks, bye for now.